the recording and start the stream. Welcome to Horsin Around, a dumbass cast. I'm your host, as always, Nick Brigadante, and with me today I have three lovely guests. If you would like to introduce yourselves in the order specified.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
Oh,
Hey,
gosh,
I'm Brad.
We can hear
I don't know
everybody else through your mic. Please.
Please fix yourself.
Well, I am Yash.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Yosh
yeah?
somehow sounds worse than you, Nicole.
Yay!
Also, Brad has no foreground lighting, so he's just a dark shadow.
No. Yeah, like that
You look
guy
like
from
one of
My
those
Hero
people in
Academia.
like. Well, I was thinking more like people in like those documentaries, but they're actually like in a cartel. They don't show their face; they just show like a shadow.
You'll see
Oh
me.
my
Make your voice real deep; it'll be the same
Jesus
thing.
Christ, Yosh, how
Brad
is your
looks like
mic
Deep
so
Throat.
much worse?
Yeah, let me see if I can.
It's worse than Nicole. She keeps cutting out all the time.
Yeah, but
I
so
have
do
added
you, and
foreground
like
lighting.
more
My
often.
best.
All right, you both
I have no
need to get new laptops.
idea how to
It sounds
fix
like
it.
the
I know.
moral of the story. Although I will
know.
say,
Mine is 7 years old.
Jesus, it's gotten a good life
Mhm.
out of it. Nicole has like a weird VHS static effect on her camera,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
like
yeah.
a really interesting look.
That's intentional, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a stylistic effect. It's for
Yeah.
that Tumblr aesthetic.
Oh, I gotcha. I don't remember
Yeah.
Tumblr to be the VHS aesthetic type. More so the
Vintage.
fucking crack maniac screaming about Super Hulock kind of aesthetic. Or ABO stuff, which we could certainly talk about.
Oh, God, yes, absolutely.
So, I guess the first thing to cover on that topic, for those who are uninformed, which I assume includes Brad and Yash, is the term ABO is a abbreviation for a subgenre of fan fiction literature that denotes alpha/beta/omega, which is basically like a...
Oh wait, you didn't say HBO. You said ABO.
No, it is not HBO. I wish it was
Oh.
HBO, because at least
I
then
was
they'd
confused
put
about
some
where this was
effort
going.
into it.
I've actually read fan fiction. If you want me to
Oh
cover
yeah,
this
if
part.
you've got
Yeah.
more in-depth
I don't know
takes
if I
on
should have. I don't know if I should have admitted that publicly online, but here it goes.
it. Okay.
I never read any of this shit. I just
Uh-huh.
scrolled past it on AO3.
Mhm.
Or so you say.
But alpha, beta, omega. I don't know why I said that. ABO stands for alpha, beta, omega. So in this world,
These worlds.
everyone in
Yeah.
this world, in this universe, the Omega verse.
Oh right, yes, 'cause
everyone.
it's like a fucking cinematic universe. I forgot about that already. Jesus Christ.
It starts. It originated apparently in the supernatural fandom. And it started out as being like a male thing, and then it's kind of branched off from there. But in these universes, basically, people are divided into three categories. You have betas, who are just kind of like normal human beings. You have alphas, who are supposed to be like super dominant and kind of follow like really outdated wolf stereotypes about like pack leaders and shit. So they're all like super like testosterone hopped up,
Yeah,
like
just like
marking.
mega chads, like just
Yeah.
absolute mega testosterone filled chads.
Why does this exist?
Perfect.
Because
Horny middle-aged women and horny teenage girls
yeah,
who are very repressed.
yeah.
And
Horny
then you
on
have
main.
omegas. And you have omegas who are like the ultimate bottoms.
Yeah.
Where so they have part of that has to do with they have a regular heat cycle. It's based on a lot of stuff that has to do with like wolves and canines in general.
Yeah.
So they
This
have
stuff
these heat
is
cycles
not
where they're
true.
just like
Right, it's outdated.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Where they have these like overwhelmed with pheromone periods of the month.
Yeah. And they need to
where they're
fuck.
just like So there's like a lot of
Wow.
interesting kind of consent issues that happen in these stories, but people are just super into it. It's like sex pollen, basically. So, and I will add that. Oh, and there's also a thing with nodding. I don't know if you wanted me to explain what that is.
Please do. I think it's
Like
I
nodding
think it
like
really
heroin?
adds. Oh. Get ready.
So, I I come from an interesting perspective because I'm also a pre-vet student.
Oh,
So I had the
boy.
distinct pleasure of having my anatomy class discuss male and female reproductive systems a few weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who already knew what nodding was, and I just did not say anything in the chat.
Smart choice.
So, contrary to a lot of other species anatomy, dogs, wolves, canines in general have a part of their penis that basically swells up and forms this giant bulb when they ejaculate. So, and that's called the knot. So then when completion happens, they're basically stuck together. And that's a way, biologically, the reason why that happens is to kind of ensure that the female is more likely to get fertilized. But in ABO, it's just like, wow, this is the hotness.
This is the connection.
This is the hotness.
This is how the
Yeah.
horny teens get off. This is how the middle-aged woman really feel something for once in their lives because they're.
Wait,
they're
so
Yeah.
are you a
husbands.
part wolf? Why? How are
They're
you able
not-
to do that?
They're not part wolf. Typically, I've seen some where it's like they're also like kind of animal-ish
Yeah, it's
stories, but a lot of the time it's just like, wow, we need to fuck right now because you smell incredible and I can't control myself. So they like
Isn't
go
that
to
the
a bathroom
plot
or
of
something,
Twilight?
and then they get stuck
A
together.
lot of it, I mean, yeah, there's probably a lot of influence in Twilight.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised considering Stephanie Meyer's other work.
In theory, ABO came after Twilight. I don't remember the exact dates, but I do remember it was past 2005.
Oh no,
it was
I
closer to
assumed
like
this came
2010.
after. Yeah,
Yeah.
I assumed this was.
Well, yeah, because Supernatural
not derivative
was
necessarily,
2005, and I guess if Twilight was also 2005, then it would have come after
Yeah.
those things.
I mean, this didn't happen until like peak Tumblr.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure it was like around 2010 that this trope started popping up.
Yeah, the 2008
Yeah.
to 2012 golden age of Tumblr. Golden
Yeah.
being a very subjective term in this case, but it was certainly when the site was the most fucking
Definitely a color at the very
feral
least.
and insane. Yeah, certainly a color. But yeah,
When
so
the site-
that is definitely that gave me some more insight on the topic because I think Lindsay Ellis did just kind of a brief overview of all of that stuff.
Yeah, she was also not someone in the know.
Right. Yeah. How? Can I ask how you came around to it originally? Do you wish to talk about that, or would you rather not?
Do you wish to talk about it?
Well, you know, you get bored in like honors chem sophomore year of high school. You get really into the Vampire Diaries.
Okay.
You find some stories online by accident, and then you just kind of keep going
Can I
because
just
it's an
say I've
interesting
never
outlet.
been. I've never been
And
that
just
bored.
it just kind of keeps going. It's like a black hole. The more you try to like struggle and get yourself out, the more you just get sucked in.
Mhm.
And again, I never was intentionally like, I need to read the ABO stuff, but I have found it before just out of morbid curiosity. And the nice thing, props to AO3. AO3 is a lot better than fanfiction.net because AO3 has a lot more kind of specificity in terms of tags, so it's a lot easier to find specific things that you're looking for and also avoid specific things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So I'll like I used to like scroll past these stories that were like nodding, Mpreg. Oh, that's another big thing
yeah,
in
Mpreg is
ABO.
huge in it, right?
Yeah, I hate anything that involves pregnancy. But because this originated as like a gay trope,
Yeah. They wanted
the
to
Omegas get
incorporate-
pregnant.
Yeah. Somehow.
Yeah.
Because ABO magic, they become
The
pregnant.
testosterone is just too
Yeah.
rich.
HBO Max.
Yeah.
Don't question where or how the baby comes out. But anyway.
It's like passing a kidney stone, but like, you know, way
No,
worse.
stop. No.
It just opens up like the
Oh!
who's the alien from Stranger Things?
Oh, the fucking
Demogorgon.
Demogorgon! No! Don't say that! Oh!
This is scaring
No!
off Nick.
Oh, I love being the only woman in the chat.
Oh, God. Yeah, that... Oh, man. Wow.
I'm
Thanks
not
for
a
that
fan
image.
of that imagery.
No, not me neither.
Boo.
Fucking-
Aren't you so glad I'm on the show?
Well, look, you already have brought way more insight to this topic than I probably would have, because I
You
pretty
were
much.
certainly shivering our timbers, Nicole.
I only have seen the 2 Lindsay Ellis videos on it, which are pretty interesting, and the background is useful for this topic because basically it's all about somebody who is writing ABO fan fiction, decided to publish the books, and then after the fact decided to sue other writers who were trying to publish ABO fan fiction because it was too similar. But the problem is you can't copyright a trope. That's basically what the person was trying to do.
And specifically she was trying to say, like, I'm the one, I didn't create the Omegaverse, but I was the first person to make male-female Omegaverse fiction, which is also not true at all.
Yeah.
I was like, what are the odds of that?
Absolutely
none. I feel like she just, for one, she's arrogant, it seems like, and then for 2, she, I think she assumed nobody would dig far enough to call her on it, partially because, like, what fucking judge is going to, risk their sanity and dive into the deep recesses of ABO history to find out?
Really, it's the lawyer doing the digging.
The whole series of court cases was really amazing. And you guys should just watch like the videos that Lindsay Ellis does on them because they're really good and well put together and well edited, and go through.
She's good.
Pretty much the whole story, but it basically what it came down to was just that her publisher, the accuser's publisher, had enough money and lawyers to just like fuck around long enough for the defendants to like run out of money, and then they had to give up because of that. But they didn't win the court case. They literally were just like the judge was just like, hey, the other person literally can't show up, so we're just gonna throw this shit out of court and shut this shit down.
Yeah.
Which is
one of the lawsuits ended that way, and the other one they found out that she perjured herself by saying like, I had no involvement in this. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I watched both of the videos on double speed before the podcast. That's why I showed up so late.
Yeah, then you're probably gonna have a fresher memory of it than I do. But they were getting tried in 2 different states because the authors were in 2 different states, right?
Yeah.
And so
double jeopardy
got thrown out, and well, it was 2 different suits. Like they were on different things. I don't remember what the specific differences were, but yeah, it was just a time. And I don't know. And then she started going after Lindsay Ellis for making the fucking call-out video. And she's just...
Wow, I'm sure that'll get her to stop.
Yeah. It's incredible. And then I think what happened, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nicole, because, I think after all that shit went down, the publishers, backed away from... I actually have the article, or an article on the subject. Let's see, Lindsay Ellis... What's the person's name? Addison Kane was the accuser.
Addison Kane, and the other party was Zoe Ellis. And
that is such a sick name for a villain, though.
Yeah.
That's not even her real name. That's just her pen name.
Yeah. Also, Zoe Ellis has no relation to Lindsay Ellis, although they share a last name. It's just a coincidence.
No, Zoe Ellis is also a pen name.
Oh, yeah.
They're both pen names, yeah.
Turns out you don't sometimes want your real name attached to ABO fan fiction. Who would have thought?
And the other interesting thing to point out is that both of these stories were kind of repurposed fan fiction, which was a staple of Addison Kane's whole "I'm not copyright." Like this is a copyright infringement issue,
but it was based on some Dark Knight fan fiction. Right?
Yeah, Addison Kane's book was an ABO story where Bane was the alpha, and then she had a self-insert character as the Omega, and then Zoe Ellis's was based on Khal Drogo.
Wait, who was the beta? Was Batman involved?
There's no beta. Betas are just the normies in the universe. No one gives a fuck about betas. People only care about alphas and omegas.
Was Batman in the story at all, or was it just Bane?
No, so Addison Kane got started writing fan fiction, and she was really involved in writing fan fiction about Bane, just just carnally devouring somebody that I guess allegedly was her self-insert character or whatever.
Eating them? Cannibalizing them?
I said carnally devouring.
Oh,
Ravaging them.
I misheard.
Yeah, good word.
Fucking them real hard.
Ravishing. Whoops, ravishing them.
Okay.
Yeah, so that started out as she started out writing like Bane fan fiction and reading excerpts from her book. Like they're very clearly just like Bane, and it's this is something that this is a term I'd never heard before, but repurposing fan fiction just by like changing some of the names and some of the plot points in the same kind of way that like 50 Shades of Grey used to be a Twilight fan fiction until she just like did a sprinkle of edits. It's called filing the serial numbers off.
Oh yeah. That was another
So
thing. Interesting stuff. I don't know. Definitely a fun watch, if nothing else. And also just seeing just how double like two-faced she is in her interactions between like she plays like the victim in her social media posts and like tries to be like a social justice hero or whatever, and then in the emails that they pull up for the court cases, it's just like, yeah, we'll fuck them over. We give me I need this money, all right? Fuck this person. Give me their shit.
Specifically in the emails, that was why, like I said, like Nick said, there were 2 court cases. One got dropped just because the other party was just not meeting deadlines and stuff. Mm-hmm. So the judge was like, whatever, throw it out. The other one got dropped because Addison Cain was alleging this entire time that like she was just an innocent victim in all of this. Her publishing company was the one who was doing all of this. She just didn't want to get involved. Wasn't her business. And then during this court case, emails, I guess, were subpoenaed between herself and her publishing company that were filing these DMCA takedown notices. Yep. And in the emails, she is clearly the mastermind and saying like, this is what I want to do. I'm fully aware of everything the publishing company is doing and giving them strategies about how to take off after this. And the publishing company was like, we'll just let us be the bad guys publicly, just play like the innocent person involved in all of this.
Yeah.
So
just like fucking good lord. Yeah. And I think Lindsay Ellis makes a good point in the beginning part of her first video where it's like, you would think in this type of scenario, the artist could stand to benefit from both of their works just being available, because somebody reading one might be interested in reading the other, especially when it's such a fucking niche genre as ABO. Like, you're gonna be like, if you're into ABO and you read one book, there's gonna be like 5 other books that are published maybe that you can find in a bookstore. So you probably are just gonna go back there and pick up the other person's book. But for some reason, Addison Cain just wanted to be really vindictive, and I don't know how it's gonna play out in the long run for him. Hopefully it doesn't go well. But there is, through all of this, there was the interesting question of, how can you copyright something that is basically, thinly veiled fan fiction, and then Addison Cain was trying to claim Omegaverse content as like hers somehow, which it doesn't seem like it was really possible, and we never really got to see the finale of that like question, or we never got to see how that question would get answered in court because Zoe Ellis couldn't keep going because she ran out of funds. Which is a bummer. But
honestly,
was Zoe Ellis the defendant?
Yes, Zoe Ellis was the defendant, and Addison Cain's. It was technically Addison Cain's publishing company that was the accuser, but it was really Addison Cain. So
when they threw out the lawsuit, does that mean like she lost, or?
Yeah, kind of. Like, I don't know if they made. I think she basically lost by default, because they just couldn't keep up with, like Nicole said, with deadlines and I think they just couldn't pay for their attorneys anymore. And so then,
which is honestly how a lot of litigation ends.
Yeah,
it's just one party kind of.
So the judge was just like, all right, you guys need to like settle this, and we're just gonna aside with the prosecutor. Yeah.
It wasn't even a settlement; they just threw the case out, so there was no winner.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then I guess there was no winner in that case.
There's no real winner. I think by default, Addison Cain won.
Yeah, because I think it was a DMCA takedown on Zoe Ellis's books on stuff like Amazon and their Kindle service and stuff. And basically Zoe Ellis was trying to counter DMCA, and that's what brought the whole thing to court. But because the case fell apart, nothing is preventing the publishing company from still telling Amazon and whoever to keep Zoe Ellis's books off of their sites, and so that's just going to remain as it is, basically.
It's pretty fucked.
Yeah, which is a whole nother thing with fucking DMCA shit, because it is way less hassle for things like YouTube and Twitch and Amazon to just, if somebody files a claim, they're just going to let it go. They're just going to do it without really looking into it. It takes a lot more effort on their part to actually look into it, and then because if they do and then they try to say like, hey, this person's in the right, then there's a possibility that the person who filed the claim can take them to court over it, and then it's a whole hassle for the hosting company. And so I feel like there's been some cases where higher profile people have been, like, I think actually Lindsay Ellis was getting targeted by Addison Kane and what was it? Patreon.
She went after Lindsay Ellis on Patreon and on YouTube, and I think somewhere else as well.
Yeah.
And Patreon
was like,
we'll
go to back for you.
Yeah,
we'll go to bat.
She made a huge mistake going after Lindsay Ellis, because Lindsay Ellis is actually like a pretty popular creator, and she's one of the biggest creators on Patreon. So Patreon was like, this is hilarious and we've got your back. So they ended up, I think, complying with a DMCA takedown notice, which ended up amounting to, like, she had to unlink the video from her Patreon page for like 10 days and then relink it, and that was it. Yeah. And YouTube, which is notorious for like just responding to anyone's copyright claims, looked into it and was like, yeah, this is stupid, we're not going to comply with this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, for lower, for startup YouTubes and Patreon stuff, it's like, you're not always afforded that same opportunity because you don't have the level of clout, and you're not bringing in as much revenue for the hosting companies. So there is definitely some flaws in the way the laws are executed. And I'm curious to see if this continues to pop up, which I think it will, because, with this content involving critiques, reviews, and parodies and stuff like that of other people's content is just going to continue to be a thing, and I think it's going to continue to grow to be a thing as we, as a culture, become more and more integrated with internet videos and everything like that. So I'm interested to see how lawmakers of the future might try to change or adjust the laws to accommodate for that, and maybe make things better in the long run, hopefully.
I have a related story that I'll keep short, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the end of the Lindsay Ellis and ABO stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, my brother's a lawyer, but I have no understanding of the law to be able to add anything relevant to this.
Yeah, again, if you're really interested about this topic, you should watch the Lindsay Ellis videos, because they're really good. Yeah, they're like 40 minutes to an hour each, and they're really good.
Yeah. And you get to hear some dramatic readings of different ABO, like professional ABO stories, which are just excruciating to listen to.
Yeah, I love that they got fucking Jenny Nicholson to voice Addison Kane, which is another great YouTube creator that I love. And I was just like, no way, that's Jenny Nicholson. But then her voice was in the credits. I was like, fuck yes, dude. And she did such a good, villain type voice for Addison Kane. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. What were you gonna say, Yash? What's the related story?
So there's a big you could call it like fan fiction, maybe, I guess. It's really a collaborative writing project. It's called the SCP Foundation.
Oh yeah.
So it's supposed to be like horror mostly, but the concept is that there is an organization called the Foundation. SCP stands for Secure, Contain, and Protect. And this secret organization, the Foundation, they find, secure, and contain anomalous objects or beings
Mhm.
to protect the rest of us from
Yep.
those things.
Yep.
So, it's a little like Men in Black. And the format that these stories are told in is primarily like entries for each individual item.
Yeah,
Or
like
thing.
written as nonfiction on like wikis and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it'll be like, okay, this is SCP-56, and it'll say like how dangerous it is, and then it'll say the containment procedures for how they keep it contained, and then it'll say here's the description of the object, and then there'll be any extra materials at the bottom. And the reason this whole thing works is because there's no actual canon established. Everyone can just use whatever anyone else has written, and it's free for everyone to use.
Yeah.
And in Russia, a Russian man, going off of the GoFundMe for the SCP page, a Russian man has illegally registered an illegal trademark or illegitimate trademark for SCP with the Eurasian Customs Union. He's used this trademark to threaten and extort legitimate sellers of SCP merchandise. In addition, he has committed copyright infringement by violating the SCP content license, Creative Commons Share Alike 3.0. So essentially, anyone can use the SCP content for anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So people have published books about SCPs as companions.
Mhm.
The only thing on SCP that is actually not that is copyrighted and you can't use freely is the very first SCP was created using an image of a sculpture, and the artist of that sculpture gave permission for the site to keep using the picture, but you can't use that picture for anything else.
Okay.
Besides that, everything is fair game. And this guy has published a book, and he's filed a trademark on the SCP logo, I believe.
Yeah.
And that concept of SCP. And he was trying to use it to blackmail the Russian branch of the SCP Foundation, foundation as in the writing project, not the actual organization.
Okay.
And apparently it was resolved. It was a similar issue though, right, where someone is really taking advantage of a community that's existed for a long time, using this format, and he's trying to say that I was the first one to copyright it, and now I have claim to this. And if you guys don't, in this case, he was trying to blackmail them, where it's if you guys want to keep using the logo and stuff like that, then you have to concede to my demands. Luckily, $165,000 were raised for the legal fund. And as of October 18th, the Russian Federal Anti-Monopoly Service ruled that he had violated Article 14.8, who cares, of Russian law. And so he basically lost.
That's the official name of it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's a win.
Yeah, but I think the idea is whenever I think there is this community where people interact and share ideas and build off of each other, right? And it's a fan writing in some form.
Yeah.
People are going to try and take advantage of that.
Yeah. There's money to be made, so they're going to try and make it.
Yeah.
But it blows my mind because like you were saying, people have made books based on it, and I think you could sell them. It's just a matter of if you try to go the extra step and be extra greedy by trying to copyright the thing that you don't have any claim to, you're hopefully if the justice system is working properly, you're gonna get yourself in hot water, and you're probably gonna lose money in the long run over it because it's you can already just, if you just work on the merit of if your writing is good, people will buy it and enjoy it for what it is, but you don't own the fucking SCP Foundation. You don't own the Omegaverse. You just be happy with what you have, and then if you really want to make something that is entirely your own, then you've got to put in the legwork to do it. It's not that hard of a concept. I don't understand why these people feel like they need to get that greedy with it.
I think something we've learned in the last 4 years is that people can be very bad and greedy.
Wow, you're right. That is the number one lesson. People do be kind of bad sometimes. Yeah.
Occasionally, every so often.
But I'm glad the Russian Justice Department came in clutch for
it's
once.
kind of interesting that Russia pulled through.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect that.
No. No. But yeah, it's been. These are interesting stories, and I hope the SCP Foundation continues to grow and create content like it does, because there's a lot of interesting stuff from there.
Maybe they'll have a crossover with the Omegaverse.
They're in like that's the thing. Like they can do stuff like
there's
that.
probably some SCP that is like an actual like
Omega-ish.
Omega creature
Yeah.
or alpha creature. Maybe they're companion SCPs that are like the two halves. That'd be pretty.
See, that's the thing is like SCP is like a crapshoot in a sense because like most of them are by different authors. Some authors are prolific, and people will make their own kind of like shared universes, quote unquote, where it's like, okay, so we're going to incorporate these other SCPs that have happened. Yeah. And it's like one of the ones that is really interesting is called like Broken Masquerade. So the whole Foundation is supposed to be a secret.
Yeah.
And the Broken Masquerade concept is that it's no longer secret. It was revealed to the world. Like, so what happens now?
Like Vampire the Masquerade, where all the vampires are participating in the masquerade to keep themselves hidden from the real world.
I can't speak to that, but I'm gonna say yes.
I mean, it's just funny.
Is that an anime?
No, it is a tabletop role playing game, like rulebook set. That is based on just like very gothic, themes, and everybody's, mostly everybody's a vampire. You can be a vampire hunter, I think, as a class, but like, yeah.
It's like reverse werewolf, where everyone's a vampire, but one person's a human.
Yeah. There's been some popular her cult classic game called Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines that they're making a sequel to that is coming out. I think it was supposed to come out this year, but COVID. But
it's still good. The year's not over.
The year is not over. That is true. Maybe by some.
There's still time for a new disaster.
Stop saying that.
Please stop saying that.
Hasn't enough happened?
At least he's not saying that 2021 can't be any worse. Because if he said that, then
you just
said that.
No, I said he didn't say that. That negates it. It's fine.
Knock on wood right now.
I am knocking on wood. All right, wood has been knocked on.
We're on camera.
I saw an article yesterday which said that there was a meteor that was supposed to pass us by probably, and now it's probably going to hit us, maybe.
Oh, great.
But it's not going to hit us for like 50 years, so we'll still be alive, but we'll probably die anyways.
It's not a big enough size to end the world either. Unless it grows.
R.I.P. Minnesota, though.
Is it any like impact beyond like dust size, like any size beyond Pebble size is going to actually at least cause some human deaths? Like
meteors seem to hit Russia all the time for some reason.
Yeah, what's up with that?
There's so many videos of like meteors landing in Russia because everyone in Russia has dash cams because in Russia there's like a lot of insurance fraud, so they all have dash cams to prove that this person ran in front of their car, and so you catch a lot of really interesting things from Russia. But like, you really think meteors would happen less?
Well, I don't know. I feel like in that case, it's kind of an availability heuristic thing where it might not necessarily be that just so many meteors hit Russia. It's just the fact that everyone has these cameras. So it's a lot easier to find footage of meteors just randomly hitting Russia. It's probably helping elsewhere too.
But I still would have thought that less meteors hit the Earth in like a visible way. Because like you see these like fireballs crashing down.
Yeah, in like recorded human history, you would think like maybe once, but there's like more than one.
Like they're not even like small things. It's like a big like fireball coming down, and it's like, whoa, what is that going by?
I wonder if it has anything to do with being close to magnetic north, like just generally the poles.
I would just imagine that Russia is such a wide, it like spans such a wide range.
It is geographically one of the biggest countries, so statistically,
it's like the entire width of Asia, basically.
Yeah,
it's thick with 2 C's.
I give it a few more C's to be quite honest. Yeah, we might give it a third C.
I would say it's wide with 3 eyes.
Okay, well, you could just be a prune if you want to, but we're gonna stick with thick. What else has been happening? I mean, there's a fucking I don't know if any of you have been following this, but something that's been popping up on my radar recently is like the you know what? Actually, this is gonna be a bummer topic, so I'm gonna veto myself right now.
Too late.
Talk about symbiotic titan,
right?
Huh?
You're talking about the mink, right?
No, that was we covered that last week. That's also a bummer.
Okay.
But I was going to talk about the conflicts in Armenia and just like the history of Armenia in general. But that's like really a bummer.
You want to talk about the Armenian genocide on a podcast called Horsing Around a Dumbass Cast?
Yeah, I thought about that as I was starting to talk about it. I was just like, you know, it is current
Not the
events, but it's
forum.
like fucking bummer. So maybe we don't.
I guess maybe the takeaway is that the Armenian genocide happened, and it's so obvious that it happened that we're talking about it.
Well,
on
it's
a
also
dumbass
still
cast.
happening, just like not as fucking intense as 1915, but like literally the Turkish prime minister was like, I still want to do this. Please understand. I will end the
Erdogan
Armenians.
is just the worst.
Yeah.
So for
I've
the
met some
first half,
Turkish people, and they all hated him.
so for the first half of today's podcast, we talk about ABO and fan fiction and like Wolfcock. And for the second half, we talk about the
You talked
history
about Wolfcock. We didn't say anything
Yeah,
about
no one else said
For the
anything
second half-
about that.
For the second half, we talk about the history of mass genocides occurring around the world that other countries just don't give a shit about.
Look, it's horsing around. You never know what you get out of here. Okay, it's a different thing every time. It's a grab bag. Yeah, I mean, okay. Bottom line,
So
please look
symbiotic
into
Titan.
it and support humanitarian causes if you have the funds
Yeah.
to do so. But instead, let's talk about Symbiotic Titan. Because
All
that
right.
is something that you
I am
suggested.
so
and it's
excited.
not
Is
as
that
much of a
like
bummer.
upgrade?
I mean,
Wait,
Probably
pitch it to me.
not.
I don't know anything about what this is.
No one knows about Symbiotic Titan except for
Yes.
Yash.
yeah.
So
give us a
here's
lowdown.
what it is, right? If you have heard of the show Samurai Jack, which is critically acclaimed, it is by the same creator as Samurai Jack. If you liked the movie Pacific Rim, it has got similar action to Pacific Rim.
I do like Pacific Rim.
I've never seen
So
Pacific
this is
Rim.
the show. Shut up, Nicole! God damn it! Watch Pacific Rim.
Jesus.
It's so good.
Aggressive.
It's such a good movie.
He's
It's so
right,
fun.
but still.
It just hasn't happened yet.
Oh my
What
god!
else are you
Nicole.
doing during quarantine, Nicole? What else are you doing? What's your schedule
Working.
look like?
I work in person and I have class and I live alone, so I have to take care of all of my cooking and cleaning and chores, and also I have an injury currently.
Just put it on while you're doing the dishes or something.
I'm just
You know?
hearing a lot of
I
excuses.
dishes right
Nicole.
now.
All right.
A lot of
Anyways.
excuses.
Sorry. Anyway, Symbiotic Titan.
Okay, so the concept of the show is that there is, it's about like three people from an alien planet called
Naturally
Galaluna. So Galaluna, there is a coup on Galaluna, and these three have escaped from the planet. So there is the daughter of the king, so princess. There is a member of the royal guard who is here to protect her, and then there's a robot that was also here to like help them.
The princess looks like Pearl from Steven Universe. I'm just noticing. Look at the
Probably.
I don't know. She has that weird,
I don't know.
that weird head shape with like the point at the top, like sort of
Just
like
like
a Jimmy
Kaguya
Neutron look.
too.
Yeah.
So the concept is that these three people are trying to hide out because she is the last kind of heir to the throne, and as long as she's alive, there is hope that the country planet can be retaken.
Yeah.
It's
And
just like Samurai Jack.
Yeah, exactly. the same.
maybe I don't know. I haven't seen Samurai Jack honestly. I just know it's really this show has convinced me that I should watch Samurai Jack since it's by the same guy. So the idea is these three. So the two the two non-robots, I guess.
Yeah.
Since like the guy in the royal guard, they have like this like mech armor that they can like activate because he's part of the royal guard. So he gets one, and the princess, as princess, she gets one, although hers is much smaller and like defensive, really. And the three of them on Earth, they come in through like a rift gate, so like basically like like a slip space rupture from Halo or like
Who's this
hyperspace.
looking guy?
Oh, that's the robot. So he like puts up like like a hologram kind of the shape shifting thing to look like a
He's
human.
Big square.
Yeah. So the idea then is that the guy who ran the coup, he keeps sending these like monsters through the wormhole to try and kill her while he's trying to subdue the planet because once she's dead, like the rebels will probably give up. And so she is like a princess in exile, and they keep fighting off these monsters, and then they realize that they can combine into like this like thing called Titan, which is this like giant. It's kind of like the Iron Giant, or Gypsy Danger from Pacific Rim. It's like a giant mech. And so the show, like the main action is usually like these giant mech versus like giant monster battles. But you also have like smaller scale fights, and the art is really good. The action is excellent. I find the story and the character arcs like really interesting. Something that's like pretty minor, but I thought was really interesting is how they draw humans, because like humans are kind of drawn sort of grotesquely in the show. They look grotesque. like they're pretty, like they're quite exaggerated to the point of like looking kind of like.
I mean, that's it's similar to Samurai Jack. I think they've done that, but I'm looking at images right now, and yeah, they are drawn pretty weird. There are some weirdly sexualized images of some of these high school girls, though. I don't know what's up with that.
Yes.
Are you surprised?
Basically, the idea, though.
I don't know if that's very shocking.
I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed.
Oh, that guy's fucking terrifying. Anyway, sorry, what are you saying?
So the idea is that they basically like exaggerate all the kind of stereotypical aspects of like the different people. So like jocks are like gigantic, enormous. The cheerleaders all look kind of similar, and yeah, they're probably kind of sexualized. But the idea is, it's kind of interesting because to me, I thought that the reason they were all drawn like this is it's kind of like this is how an alien would see humans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you kind of see, when we see people, we kind of see past like all the extra stuff, like past all like the acne and braces and stuff. Like it's like the difference between looking at like a picture of someone versus looking at them in real life, where like when you look at the picture, all the flaws kind of stand out more. Right? And if you're like if you're like not a human and you've come to Earth, humans are going to look really weird to you, right? And they're going to seem strange and maybe ugly and grotesque.
How did you say that? Oh no, you made Nicole leave.
I offended Nicole so much she left the podcast.
What the fuck? What did you do? Oh goodness.
I don't mean we're grotesque. I just mean
you called humans ugly. You know what? I'm leaving too.
Oh, bye. God, I'm gonna have to bat over.
All right, Nick, we can finally talk about what we came here to talk about.
Okay.
Never mind, Nicole's back.
Fucking comedic timing.
Hey.
It's a really good show. I would really recommend. Like, I would give it a really strong recommendation. And it's only 20 episodes.
Only 20 episodes.
Fortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, each episode's like 22 minutes, so it's not really that long.
Okay,
but...
I've been scrolling through images of the show just while you were talking about it to give our viewers like an idea of what it looks like, and also give myself an idea of what it looks like. This image is by far the funniest. I feel like they're actually trying to like artistically like pose it so that it looks like the military man is like on par with this fucking.
You gotta share the screen, buddy.
But also, I sent it in Horsin around.
But the fans can't see it.
They can check out the Discord. They can go to the fucking cave Discord where you can interact with me on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, I honestly think
it's also
other people can see the Discord?
What? Yeah, the Discord is publicly linked.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's for people who watch any of my streams or any of the other guys who do some streaming on here. It's like a community Discord. It's a general idea.
Yeah, I'm an idiot and I don't know how technology works.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
but this
Pacific Rim honestly was really heavily influenced by this show. Like, because this show came before Pacific Rim by like years, and like a lot of things in this show, like they don't seem derivative, but like it feels like, this Pacific Rim. I feel like this looks like they took something from this. Like this scene specifically, it's like a guy getting out of like another mech thing to shoot at the monster after the monster's disabled like his mech, And that like literally happens in Pacific Rim where they just try and shoot the monster with a pistol. And it does nothing, obviously.
Yeah. Is
But
there an episode where the guard dude turns into a woman? Because I keep seeing pictures where they're like gender bent to be a woman, and I don't know if this is just weird fan fiction people.
He does not turn into a woman. I mean, like when I first saw the show, like at the beginning, there's like like the title sequence, which is only like 5 seconds, but you just see like kind of like a brief glimpse of each character. And I was like, I thought he was a woman too, but no, he doesn't turn into a woman. There is a girl that looks kind of like him, but she's only there like 2 times. I doubt it's her.
Okay.
It's a really, really good show though, and the creator said that it got added to Netflix recently. That like if enough people like watch it on Netflix, if it gets enough interest, Netflix might pick it up for another season, which would be really good because it sets up a lot of really interesting plot lines. The story is actually good. It's much deeper and I think bolder than like your average cartoon. I think like even an adult would enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I would really recommend it.
Can I be completely honest with you? I think I have.
It looks bad.
From what you've said and this what I'm hearing about it does seem cool. But I have to be honest. Looking through these images, I do remember seeing a brief clip of the show, which is, I think, this fucking redheaded chick that keeps showing up in these image searches was like trying.
She's a head cheerleader.
Yeah, she was trying to like flirt with the robot dude, and there was like a really weird twerking sequence that kept getting recommended on YouTube, like over and over again in the fucking recommended.
Oh, you have to send it.
Well, that happened in the show,
you can
but
look
the
it up if
idea
you want to. But it was just a weirdly, overtly sexual scene for what appeared to be a children's show.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of.
Nick, do I have a children's show for you? I was just introduced this week to a very funny.
What is it?
Yes, I also give my stamp of approval.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
It's called.
You know what it is already, Yash.
It's what?
It's called what?
Ghost Stories.
Never mind. I also endorse this show.
Is that
okay? So now you have to watch it.
Is that the live action one where it's the kids around the campfire telling
Nope.
stories?
No.
Okay.
No.
Nick,
I think you're thinking scary stories to tell in the dark.
Probably.
It's pretty impressive.
Nick, this is the greatest show of all time.
Oh, is it the one that's been shittily dubbed? Like the one where the dub
not shittily.
Like,
basically, what happened was
immaculately
it's high
dubbed.
quality, Nick.
It was
okay. I know what you're talking about, and I
this
also
is what
agree.
peak performance looks like.
Yeah.
So the idea of the show was it was made in Japan.
Let Brad talk about it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brad. Go ahead.
You can talk about it. I'm gonna send Nick the police scene.
No, I've seen
me.
a compilation of the like greatest hits from the dub, so I know what you're talking about. But please explain it for our audience.
It was so basically this anime in Japan ended up flopping, and they sent it to the US, and they're like, it did terrible in Japan. Just do whatever you can to make it a hit. And they just let the voice actors do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And my favorite scene, Yash, you want to reenact it? It's they run into a police station, and they run in, and the character's mouth is moving so fast they didn't know what to put in the dub. So the guy just goes, and that's his line.
So he runs in and he says, "This is like a kid, right? Like a 4th grader." He says, "Drop the donuts, or we're gonna like have a real problem."
And then the girl starts like rattling off like my parents, my brother, and really, really quickly, but it's like actual words.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the brother
like
just chimes in.
their mouth. Sorry, go ahead, Nicole.
And then the brother just chimes in with literally just that because they couldn't figure out like an actual thing for him to say that matched the movement of the mouth.
Yeah.
They moved their mouths so fast. I don't understand why they didn't just split it up where the girl got half of it and the boy got half of it.
It's way better this way, and you can't tell me it's not.
No, it's like
it
is honestly. It's like so good. There's like if you've seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged, it is like that level of like just fucking comedy, fucking around shit where. It seems like it was a fan dub, but it apparently is the actual dub for the thing.
It was aired on television.
Yeah.
It was aired unedited on Cartoon Network in some countries.
But probably Adult Swim.
Incredible. Yeah.
It was also aired unedited on non-Cartoon Network channels that were just for like kids animation and kids anime.
Yeah, I'm looking here and they've got the I forgot that the fucking purple-haired girl is like a super like religious like super omega Catholic like there's some fucking caption here. It's like the internet was a blessing from Lord Jesus.
Oh God.
Shit like that.
Wait, you can't spoil anything else in the show. We have to watch. We're gonna watch
Yeah.
it together.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah.
Nick, obviously, you're welcome to join us.
Hell yeah, I'm down.
Yay.
But yeah, super good dub, super funny bits. I think somebody just linked a compilation of the shit on YouTube. So yeah, go watch it. Go find a place to watch it. It's been out for ages, so I'm sure it's around on some sites. I don't even know if it's hosted officially anywhere. So like, I don't know if there's like
that's
a
Max.
legally
In our
certified way to
dreams.
watch it. Yeah.
Max is literally the only person who's been commenting in the chat.
They mentioned something interesting earlier, and I'm curious if you have any input on it. They said if you want revenge on Nicole, ask her about the clone girl from the second Jurassic Park movie with Chris Pratt.
I blocked that movie out of my memory to protect
too
my
late.
body.
That's
Was
bad.
shut down to protect itself in
It
the
was
way
not
that
as
it was
bad
a
Get out
traumatic
of here.
Jurassic
memory.
World 1.
It
It
was.
just
Get
protects it
out of
and
here. It was
seals it up
worse.
behind a wall.
It was
Thank you,
not.
Brad.
At least it was,
It was
fun
worse.
and interesting.
It was worse. And Nick,
So
episode 8 was
fucking
also bad.
No. Okay.
And what
see,
makes it worse is this person has literally not seen any important movies that he should have seen by this point in his life at 22 years old. But
you
somehow
haven't
he
seen
has seen
Pacific
this
Rim.
absolute fucking train wreck. Yeah, that was something he actually texted me earlier. He was like, God, Nicole, at least I've seen Pacific Rim. I was like, you know what? Shut the fuck up, Max.
Wait, what chat group is Max texting in?
Are they?
Oh no, he's just DMing me.
Are they just? Was it just the fact that you blocked that movie out, or is there more to that story
No.
about Fallen Kingdom?
No, have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
And do you care about spoilers?
I don't. I don't think anybody should. It's so bad.
No, the thing that upset
It's not
me
as
was
bad as the first one.
It is. It's worse, actually.
So I was talking about the fact that when I was younger, I really liked Michael Crichton's books, and the fact that he has, before he went back to being a writer, he went to medical school and he worked as a doctor, and that's why he also wrote the show ER, and that's why a lot of his science fiction books are so scientifically grounded in the fact that like there are a bunch of plot holes.
There are
tons of plot holes. Yeah.
Like fucking Jurassic Park, reading that as like a fucking 5th grader or 6th grader or whatever. Dude goes into detail about raptors ripping out dudes' entrails. It's just like, wow,
it's fantastic.
Okay.
I thought it was great.
But one thing I really appreciated about that was just how scientifically grounded everything is. There are a bunch of plot holes that you could bring up about the movie that he actually explains in the book kind of before you have a chance to think about them. But anyway, this is just like a general endorsement. Please go read Michael Crichton. He's a phenomenal author. But anyway.
I disagree with that statement.
Damn.
So anyway, I kind of asked him while I was talking about this, like, oh, have you seen Jurassic Park? And he was like, yeah, I saw. No, I asked our friend Max if he'd seen Jurassic Park, and he was like, yeah, it had like the mutant velociraptor in it, right? And I was like, I don't even know which one you're talking about. And it became clear that he was talking
about
interesting.
Fallen
Kingdom. He was talking about Fallen Kingdom, and
why, Max?
He suddenly made me remember the fact that the movie ends up with like there's this annoying teenage girl who turns out to be like the cloned, who's passing off as like the granddaughter of Hammond's.
No, she's
yes, I think so.
No, she's a child. She's like
oh, that's even worse.
She's a 5th grader.
Yeah,
that's even worse. I blocked this movie out of my
Nicole
memory.
hates children.
Valid.
Absolutely, Nicole hates children. 2024. Anyway, so like she's operating to the world as like the granddaughter of Hammond's like ex-partner who he ended up disavowing later for unspecified reasons. And it turns out the reason why Hammond disavowed him was because Hammond was really opposed to human cloning, and this guy's daughter had died, so he managed to somehow clone her, and that is the granddaughter.
Yeah.
So then at the end of the movie, you have like the whole movie is about like these dinosaurs that are kind of escaping off this island and wreaking havoc, and whether they should just let a volcano wipe out all of the dinosaurs or if they should live. And, you have the animal rights activists on one side, and then you have normal people on the other side. And I'm
you
allowed
basically
to say
got PETA on one side and the normal human beings on the other.
Fuck PETA. PETA is a terrible association. Support the ASPCA instead.
Yes, you're correct.
And I'm allowed to say fuck animal rights activists because I'm a pre-vet major. Fuck
Also,
uneducated animal rights activists. Yeah, but anyway. So, she somehow forms an association like, oh, I'm a cloned thing that shouldn't exist. This dinosaur that is a mix of an already cloned, like an already genetically mutated dinosaur, the Indominus Rex, and a velociraptor is a mutant that shouldn't exist. We are the same. We both deserve to live. So without discussing it with the adults, this fucking 5th grader just slams her hand down on the dinosaurs go everywhere now button. And she's like, we all deserve a chance to live.
No, she literally says the dumbest...
And then the end of the movie... then the end of the movie is just, like, dinosaurs, like, going down Times Square and just, like, running around everywhere.
No,
which is
we're
just...
not in Times Square.
It's so...
I don't know.
No.
They're just, like... in public, just like in people's backyards.
The whole movie is like these fucking rich assholes are auctioning like underground, like illegal traffic dinosaurs that they got from the island as it was blowing up in the first half of the movie at this spooky mansion, because that's the place you want to have a dinosaur movie take place, is at a spooky mansion. And at the end of the movie, all the rich assholes are killed, basically, and then all of the dinosaurs are trapped in the basement of the spooky mansion, and there's some deadly gas that's leaking into there and is going to kill all of them. And they're all huddled up against this one, like, loading bay door that's closed, and they're all like, like making scared dinosaur noises as the deadly smoke is coming towards them. And then the little girl, like Nicole said, slaps her hand down on the thing, and then all the humans are looking at her like, hey, what the fuck?
All the adult humans
all the adult human beings
slightly more qualified to make this decision.
Right. And literally she just looks at them, and I don't remember if she spikes the camera or not. I don't think she spikes the camera, but like she looks at them.
The camera?
I don't remember. But she
like,
looks at them.
She doesn't look directly to the camera.
Yeah. She looks at them.
There's no way she looks at the camera.
Yeah. Look, you are giving that movie a lot more credit than it deserves. But she looks at them at the very least, and then she just says, they're like me. She's like, fuck off! You are a dumb child!
Does she not understand how invasive species works?
No
one is looking at
She's a 5th grader! She's a 5th grader!
No one looking at invasive species like, oh no, these, like, snakes from Australia that are running amok around Hawaii and killing all of the wildlife, they deserve to be free and survive.
They're just like me!
No, you kill them!
I think a better example would be
round them up and you
cats in
kill them.
Australia.
Oh my god.
Cats in Australia are causing a lot of extinctions, but you know, humans also have like a tough time getting rid of cats because they're pets.
Yeah.
This girl is basically half dinosaur, so she has trouble getting rid of dinosaurs.
Oh, really?
No, I don't.
She's half dinosaur.
Okay, look, here's my thoughts on the movie, right?
Dude, that movie was so... There was the scene where the dinosaur's, like, in the bedroom, and he's like, I'm gonna slowly take the blanket off of you.
He takes back the cover
You can't defend that, yeah. Come on.
Look, I'm not defending it as a great movie. But what I'm saying is that I thought it was a really entertaining movie.
No.
Jurassic World, I thought was, it was just a popcorn movie, this one.
Yeah,
I thought Jurassic World was bad as a Jurassic Park movie. And I didn't like it as, like, a regular... Like, I didn't find it that entertaining. I just groaned the whole time.
I feel the opposite way. Jurassic World was, like, dumb but entertaining. This one...
Yes! I'm 3-1 with something on Yash! Finally!
As someone who...
Oh, God. I'm so happy to hear this.
so much time talking about ecology and preserving environments as best as possible and dealing with invasive species. And this dumb fucking child just condemns the entire world to die. It's just spitting in the face of evolution. Like, forget the fact that all of these animals, all of these dinosaurs have been wiped from the planet to begin with. Because of and the only reason that any of the species that currently exist is because they've had the space to survive without dinosaurs being around eating everyone. And then she's like, it's fine if we just, like, have them here now. We can figure it out.
they only have like 12 dinosaurs, so they can't really.
Well, okay, that's the other thing that
They're
I'm
gonna
really
fuck
curious.
each other, Brad.
Well, no, but
but they're not the same species.
Because there were so few dinosaurs. I don't even think most of them came in pairs, or we didn't see them in pairs.
No, they weren't in pairs.
Right, it wasn't like Noah's Ark when they were excavating them from the island. But
Okay.
I think what's going to happen is that they're going to say that they actually did, and they're going to retcon it so that they actually did have 2 of each.
Well,
somehow.
here's the thing.
God.
Here's the thing. In the original Jurassic Park book / movie,
Yeah.
they only had female animals. The reason why,
Right.
like, it became a problem was
Right.
because they used frog DNA, and the specific kind of frog DNA that they had was from a
Well,
species
the
in which the
swamp
females
genders.
can change to males
Yeah.
based on, I think, temperature.
But it would still
fluctuations.
take 2 to tango, and
Yeah.
there weren't pairs as far as we can tell in.
There's only one of each species at the
Right.
end.
At the very least, we know that there was only the fucking one Velociraptor because they decided to turn them into fucking puppies in that movie, which is another thing that I feel like made it so much goddamn worse than Jurassic World. Like, goddamn.
You know, I think maybe I was like enjoying it. Like, I didn't think it was a good movie, but I enjoyed it because I just completely given up. After Jurassic World, I had completely given up on the franchise. I was not even going to watch it in theaters until I was like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I was like,
Guys,
"Why not? Let's kill a couple hours."
Jurassic
What?
World 3 has finished shooting.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
tell me
Dominion.
that.
Dominion is
Don't
they got
tell
the
me
name
that.
and they're into
See,
post. So
Here's one reason why I did have fun. Is
There will
one
be a
thing
big
I really
roll in
hate.
future installments. There's gonna be more.
No!
Oh my god.
Jurassic
No.
Park forever. Look, okay, as it's like a necessary evil to me because I love dinosaur media, and if Jurassic World or whatever the next series is gonna be continues to keep dinosaurs in some
Jurassic
form of
Galaxy.
limelight- yeah, oh my god, it's gonna be like Friday the 13th where they had Jason X where he goes to fucking space. That's where it's gonna go.
Wait,
That's
he
the
goes to
natural
He went to
conclusion.
space?
Yeah, Jason X brings fucking.
What, does he
Jason
fight
to
like the
space.
Predator or something?
I
I
don't
know. I know he goes to hell at some point. I didn't know he went to space.
Yeah, I mean, they took
Who
him to
did he kill in
Manhattan
space?
in Nightmare, or not Nightmare, fucking Friday the 13th 8 or whatever the fuck it was. And
He
goes to
didn't
Manhattan.
take Manhattan. He took a cruise ship.
Right, yeah, and then he didn't even take Manhattan until like the last 20 minutes of the movie. But yeah, that's what's gonna happen with Jurassic Park. And I mean, again, like if it makes more dinosaur media come out aside from Jurassic Park, I'm okay with that.
Well, my concern is that people aren't going to be creating any kind of independent media about dinosaurs because we have such a trend towards like cinematic universes and just a homogenization of media. So my concern is that we're just going to go back to like that part in the 80s where it's just like sequels galore happening.
Yeah.
So I'm concerned that it's just going to be like 900 more Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah.
See, that's
But as
the
a
thing
side
is that-
note, if you like dinosaur media, please read Raptor Red. It is a book, fantastic
Ooh.
book, from the perspective of a raptor.
Oh,
It's really good.
That sounds
Yes.
pretty fucking dope. That reminds me of, and I think this, I'll probably cut off the stream here because I think we've already blown past an hour, but I remember getting super into Jurassic Park as a kid and going to like Jurassic Park fan forums or whatever that were like speculating
Really?
about like
Oh,
the
no.
next Jurassic Park movie like 5-10 plus years before Jurassic World was announced or whatever.
Yeah, I did too.
And there was some site that I went to where I think I had the misunderstanding that there was some kind of video game that they, like, forum members were taking part in where they, like, you could play as a dinosaur or whatever. But because in hindsight, to get into this game that they were playing, you had to submit a story from the perspective of a dinosaur, and I wrote like a short story
Epic.
from the perspective of some kind of like dinosaurs as people were coming back to Isla Sorna or something. And I think it was just like a dinosaur roleplay form that they were just like giving limited access to, but I never got into it because my writing was shit.
Aw. No, Nick,
There is,
your writing was great.
there is a Jurassic Park game where you play as dinosaurs.
Oh yeah,
I think I had that.
I have it.
Was it the fighting game one where you could scan
No.
barcodes? And then
It's I forget what it's called. The idea it's like you make your like you're a team of like students
Also,
with
thank you
like
for
some
the
kind
follow,
of
Max.
like mentor,
Appreciate it.
and you're on the island, and you have control of like a raptor,
Mhm.
and you can design its DNA at the beginning, which I had my mom help me do because I could not understand what was going on.
Yeah,
And then
we talked about this before.
you can get like when you beat like certain dinosaurs, you'll get to use them too. I got stuck at the
Oh.
Triceratops, and I never got past
I
that.
think I had that.
I never played that one. I had a different one.
It's called
But I-
Dinosaur Battles, Jurassic Park Dinosaur
didn't have
Battles.
that.
And you're sure that that one didn't have you scanning barcodes? Because there was a one where you fought dinosaurs.
Oh, I
Like,
didn't
it was
have
like
this
a
one.
fighting game. And I guess I can look it
Yeah.
up to verify.
Maybe
What was it called again?
Dinosaur Battles, I think.
Dinosaur.
Oh wait, maybe I did have this. I don't have this new Jurassic World Evolution one.
Jurassic.
That's a park builder. Like.
Oh
you
yeah, I
typed in.
did have this.
I still have the CD upstairs in my room.
Oh no. No, but this was definitely in the Jurassic Park 3 era, like, branded series of games.
Wait,
That,
that's the one
Yes.
I had.
yeah. Did this have the barcode scanner?
Wait, no,
No.
I didn't have this.
Fucking Triceratops. Could never get past it.
Okay, it's from Whip last year. I don't know which one I had.
Yeah, but that like the
I had
box
Dino
art,
Defender.
Yeah, Dino Defender, and then there was the sequel to that, which was the basically computer board game that I think I actually played with you that one
Danger
time,
Zone.
Brad. Danger
I had
Zone!
Danger Zone.
Yes!
Fucking
Oh my
Danger
god.
Zone.
Jurassic Park Danger Zone was my shit as a child, and then obviously
They made
Operation
3
Genesis.
Game Boy games? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're all Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, a lot of Jurassic
It
Park.
was the
games
era.
came out.
We saw CD-ROMs back in those days.
Dude, the fucking oh yeah, okay, so here's some images of it. Yeah, this is a
All right.
dinosaur fighting game, but different than the one I remember.
Yo,
damn,
Master
there's
Chief
fucking
is on the
dinosaurs.
cover of this game.
I gotta dip out.
All
But
right.
I did not know Jurassic Park 3 came out in 2001. That's messed
Yeah?
up,
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
I do have a related comment on the, like, I like this specific kind of media that there doesn't seem to be a lot of movies about, but I think they're going to just keep making sequels instead of new stories.
Mhm.
I was I'm a big fan of anything pirate related, and I found out that they're going to make like a sequel-ish, I guess, to Pirates of the Caribbean starring Karen Gillan, which I'm very psyched about, but also why does it have to be a Pirates of the Caribbean sequel? Why can't it just be a new movie?
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, because
Existing
like
properties sell. They're
Yeah,
easier
yeah.
sell to companies.
yeah, I guess
I
that.
don't know.
And like in a similar vein, like the Jurassic World Evolution park building game was like, you know, the spiritual successor to Operation Genesis, which was like a fucking fantastic
Genesis was great.
Jurassic Park, you know, park builder. But there are other dinosaur-based park building games, like Prehistoric Kingdom, I think is nearing like open early access soon, and I heard about that a long time ago, back when we didn't know that Jurassic Park Evolution or Jurassic World Evolution was even a thing. And it looks like it has the potential to be really good, but like I don't know if it'll sell as well because it doesn't have the Jurassic Park name on it. So I can see what you're saying there, but I don't know. Hopefully it'll get some recognition and maybe like again, because what has the name sells, the kids are going to see Jurassic Park stuff because that's going to be the stuff that's advertised to them, and then that might get them into dinosaurs, which in turn will make them like hyper fixate, and then they'll search for anything related to dinosaurs, and then they might
Why are
find this
you
other
coming
stuff.
at me like this, dude? What the fuck?
I'm coming at myself. That's literally was me as a child. Like I think it's every kid is going to have those hyper fixations, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's completely normal.
Every adult has hyperfixation.
Yeah, even as adults, people get hyperfixated on shit, and that's okay. But yeah, so go enjoy some hyperfixations on your own time. Find some stuff and spread the word about it if you think it's cool. Thank you for watching, and I guess we'll see you next week, or see you on Monday if you're tuning in for my weeknight stuff. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.
I'm giving a peace symbol.